There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot that I hadn't the thing that I use to turn on the mic is not I forgot to check it on there. You know, you spend a week away from doing live streams and you come back a little rusty. It happens. No worries. But hopefully the audio here is working now. Apologies for the mishap, but you know, it wouldn't be a FilmSpeak live stream if there were technical difficulties. So anyways, guys, how are you all doing on this this Saturday? I will be joined by Tyler here in a little bit, but you know, he's you know, doing whatever he's doing right now. But I just figured I'd start it off and just start answering some questions and whatnot, and we can get into this. So yeah, so for those of you who didn't know, I took the week off earlier because I was on a I went with my girlfriend out to Utah to visit some of her friends, and you know, it was really nice. We were super secluded from everything out there. We got to see a lot of like the landscape out there. Did some hiking. Did some time on the reservoirs and whatnot. So it was really relaxing. And you know, I came back on Wednesday and I was thinking, I was like, you know, or sorry, I came back on Tuesday. And I was like, you know, should I do the film forum on Thursday? I decided that it probably you know, wasn't the right move. It's like I had a lot of other stuff I had to catch up on for just like work and website purposes and everything. So I was like, you know, we'll push the film forums back to you know, next week and whatnot, and then I'll do the live Q&A today, and it'll be all good. So apologies for that little week off. I should also let you know that this week I will be gone on Wednesday and Thursday, maybe, but I'm thinking of doing a film forum on Thursday afternoon. So, you know, feel free to tune in there and whatnot. I'll iron out the details and whatnot. So, cool. All right, let's start getting into this thing. Let's start answering some questions. Let's see. Okay, so Deep Into the Film's Core is asking, how's it going? Do you take college since I start school Monday? I actually graduated from college in 2017. So I've been out for like three or plus years now. So I did go to college, yeah, and it was a fun time. You know, those are everyone always says it, but like those 4 years or however many years you're in a school for, they go by so quick. Like I feel like I blinked and I missed like half of it. I had great experiences. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's just like, you know, you wake up one day and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I got to hit the real world now and everything. So, it's, yeah, you know, it's a fun time. So I hope that you enjoy your college experience. If you're going to college, or, you know, if you are, you know, just going back to high school and whatnot, hopefully, you know, it's a good time. And actually, let me know, are you doing school from home, or is it like over, you know, is it virtual and whatnot, or are you, you know, actually physically going back to school? Because I know a lot of universities and obviously, like, you know, the public school system and whatnot, they're considering some virtual options there. But so yeah, all right, cool. Thank you for the question. Let's see. Okay, Ethan White asking Godfather 1 or 2. It's tough because part of the, you know, appeal to the first Godfather is the, you know, well, other than the fact that it's an excellent movie, but it's like Marlon Brando, obviously. And it's like, he's not in the movie a whole lot, but he just makes such an impact in that, you know, in the few minutes he's there. But like the second one, man, I don't know, with Michael and everything, like, it's just, it truly is one of the greatest sequels of all time. So I don't know, I go back and forth between them. You know, I'd say they're both probably equal in my mind. I can't go with one over the other, just because obviously it is like two parts to the same story. But I don't know, and I haven't watched them in a while either, so I can't like comment too much on it and say, oh man, yeah, I just having just watched them, it's like, yeah, Godfather 1 is 100% better. But, and I mean, I love both movies, so I know it's not necessarily the answer you were hoping for, but, you know, that's sort of where I am with that right now. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, Harold Dice Scarecrow, how would you rank The Predators? Let me pull up all the Predators. I don't know if I've actually seen all of the Predators, if I'm being honest. I know I've seen the first one. I've seen the, let's see, here we go. Yeah, okay, the Predator film. Yeah, I know I've seen the first one. I saw the one that Robert Rodriguez directed, and then obviously, the infamously bad Shane Black film. So, yeah, I'd probably go the AVP, but I don't really consider those. I'd probably go the Shane Black one at the bottom. That movie is absolute garbage. I have not seen Predator 2, so I can't comment on that. But so the Predator at the bottom, Predators, and then the John McTiernan Predator, which is just, I think it is so good. And I think what John McTiernan, kind of does as a filmmaker is he explores masculinity really, really well, and having all those guys in that film, with Arnold and whatnot, it's really great. So I feel like it's really hard to top that, but I'd probably go that. Okay. Certain Fids, just checked out Project Power. Pretty solid. Yeah. Project Power it's a fun movie. I mean, it's not anything that, you're going to, be raving about for the rest of the year. Hold on one second. Sorry. There we go. All right. It's not something you're going to be raving about for the rest of the year, but it was like a nice throwback to like the early 2000s films. Like I think I said this in my review. It reminded me of Push, the Chris Evans film, which if any of you remember that, that's great, because I don't think very many people do remember that. And then, it had hints of X-Men in there, and whatnot. I guess Limitless with the pill and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, like, you'll see better films, but like, the world is cool. I think they touch on some great social issues that, are very timely and relevant and handled in a pretty solid way. I think they probably could have expanded a little bit more, but I won't knock them too much for that. And then obviously the performances, I really like Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Dominique Fishback is incredible. So, yeah, no, it's a solid movie. I mean, I can't complain. It kind of reminded me of Crank too. It felt like from a direction standpoint, it was like the guys from Crank just like had to come back and did Project Power, which I love how ridiculously over the top and stylized those films are. So, okay, let's go to the next one here. Whoops, got back to the bottom. Okay, I accidentally skipped to the bottom, so I'm going to grab a few questions here. So Igosa Osula, hello again, remember me? I was the one that had the question about great James Bond movies when you were doing Bond chats. I took your advice and now I'm into Bond. Who are your critics? I guess I'm a little unsure of what you're saying by the question. Well, I'm glad you're into Bond, first of all. So that's great. If our little show had an impact on you, which it is still coming back. I say this all the time. It is not, we're just sort of like working on a way where Brody and I can do it better, just given his schedule and with work and everything. But if it got you in the Bond, I'm stoked. I'm glad that was the case for you. But I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Who are your critics? If you're asking about like what's who are my favorite choices, like the people who played Bond. I mean, like Daniel Craig's my favorite Bond, and then obviously I like Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan. I don't really hate any of them. Even Roger Moore, who I'm less fond of, I think he does certain things well. So, yeah, feel free to let me know what you're asking about with that question. So, let's see. Going back up because I knew I missed a bunch. Let's see. Okay. Tyler Van, I went to see the Inception re-release tonight, and it was first time ever seeing it. Quite confused, lol, but I still loved it. Listen, Inception is a movie that you probably will have to watch just a couple of times just to sort of like get what they're going for with it. But here's my advice to you. If you do go watch it again, whether it's in theaters or at home, don't worry too much about the world and like, oh my gosh, they're in another dream. Okay, and now that dream's and the dreams and the layers. It's like that doesn't matter really. When it comes to Inception, like that stuff's really cool, and I think it helps ramp up the tension. But ultimately, it's about the characters and it's about the journey that they go on, and especially with Cobb, the biggest controversy or not the controversy, the biggest thing that everyone's like, oh, what does it mean? Is the ending, and it's like the top is just spinning. And I for whatever reason, I've never been one of those people who's been like, is he in the dream? Is he out of the dream? Like, what's going on here? I've just always kind of like, excuse me, I've always interpreted it by saying just like, it doesn't matter if he's in the dream or he's out of the dream. He is at peace. He has found what it is that he's, looking for. And he's, come to terms with everything, that all the mistakes he's made in his life and whatnot. So it doesn't matter if his reality is limbo or if his reality is actually the real world. It's, he is at peace. He's all good in the end. So I think that's the thing. And that's probably why Nolan has never given a strict answer to what the ending of Inception actually means. On top of the fact that, like, obviously directors don't want to give you, they don't want to tell you like, hey, think this way about my movie. I mean, that's just not what filmmakers do. But yeah, anyways. And so Tyler is here joining us. I'm going to add him back in. Tyler, why do you think people are still confused by Inception?
I don't know, man. It's funny how that movie has stood the test of time, and the ending has stood the test of time, and people just always, they love to talk about the ending, man. And it's something that's always up for, always in the discussion. I don't know why. I think it's a pretty, it's a pretty simple ending in my opinion. I think, well, like, what are your thoughts on the ending? Well,
I was just talking about it. I was just like, to me, I've always been of the mindset where it's like, it doesn't matter whether he's in limbo or whether he made it out and is in the real world. It's like the character's journey has been serviced. Like, he is at peace at the end. And so it's like, I know people are always like, oh my gosh, it's mind blowing. And like, it is mind blowing. Like, it is a spectacle to behold. Don't get me wrong. But I've never been of the mindset that's like, oh man, I don't even know what to think. Is he in the dream? It's like, that doesn't matter,
No, yeah. So, when I first saw it too back in 2010, I thought about the ending for sure after I watched the movie. I was like, wow, is he in the dream? Is he not? But I didn't really care. I was like you said, he's happy, and he, it's a happy ending. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. That and that's the thing. That's why that whole ending montage is beautiful. But I'm actually I'm jealous that Tyler got to see the re-release, because you and I were literally just talking about this yesterday. We were like, oh, dude.
Yeah, I was actually late to this live chat. I was talking to my mom. I think I'm gonna go home, man. I'm gonna go to Texas in like 2 weeks so I can see this and Inception and Tenet.
Yeah.
I don't know
jealous.
for sure, but I mean, theaters are open there, and I'm dying to see a movie, dude.
I don't blame you. If I had the means to do it, I would. Or if I knew, well, I guess I know Sean in Texas, but I'm not about to go bombard his, family and whatnot. But anyways, though, yeah. Plus, I don't know if I really want to fly again. I flew earlier this year, and it was tense, man.
You did.
Yeah, it was. When I went to go back and visit my parents, I was like, oh, maybe, it wasn't as bad as I thought. But wearing the mask for long periods of times, ooh, it really hurt. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Going back in here. Okay, Ganyai, how about a Friday film forum? That could be fun. So yeah, I was talking to at the beginning of the stream talking about film forum. I will be out to next Wednesday and Thursday for some business stuff. But I was thinking about doing a film forum on Thursday, like late in the afternoon on Thursday. I might just very well push it to Friday. It doesn't matter. I'll probably put up a poll on the community tab. So whatever you guys are feeling, just let me know down there, or in the tab whenever that goes live and stuff. Okay. All right.
Oh, by the way, can you hear is my fan annoying at all? Can you hear it or no?
No, you're good.
Sure. It's hot,
yeah, no, I get it. I actually started the stream with no audio, because I forgot to hit the button for my I use a bunch of like audio processing software that makes this sound a lot better. So I forgot to hit the button on that, so they weren't hearing anything. That was
awesome.
It was quite the scandal for today. let's see. Okay, well here, Tyler, this is easy for you. What's in your opinion the best video you've ever made?
Oh, they had the Hook, analyzing
The Hook video.
Steven Spielberg's Hook. Yeah, one of his best movies. It's a great video. You should definitely watch it. I spent a lot of time making that one.
It's the only video still up on his YouTube channel.
It's the only one that matters. It's the only one that matters. So everyone's in luck. It's still up, and it'll always be up there.
All of the good videos, all of the. Do you still have those Dan Gilroy interviews out there?
Actually, probably I don't know. Actually, I might. I don't know if those are or not, but
yeah,
that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, that was cool. Tyler got to interview Dan.
Hook, though.
Well, okay, Hook is the preferred thing, but Tyler got to interview Dan Gilroy on the red carpet for
Roman J. Israel.
That's what it was. Yeah. That's cool. No, that was it was a nice, and he seemed like a really nice guy. So that was
he's super cool.
Yeah, for sure. For me personally, I'm really proud of the end of the year montages that I do every single year.
Those are my favorite.
The super cuts. They're probably some of my favorite videos to make. Just because I have an editing background, and so I really like piecing together those things. But also the Suspiria video. The Suspiria video, I have just been like I I gave it my best video essay review hybrid sort of spin on it, and I think it turned out phenomenal, and people are still finding it and still digging it.
People actually watched it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was always just like, wow, yeah. And then that's just a weird case where it's like that movie took me by surprise. So I just I didn't set out to make that video. It just sort of naturally came out of me. The same way that Waves did too. The Waves video is probably one of my favorites as well. Okay. Okay, certain vids again, favorite sport. Tyler, your favorite sport might not see the light of day this fall.
I know, it's football. I think NFL is for sure happening. I see them practicing all the time. I'm really not worried about that, but I love college football the most. That's my favorite if I had to pick.
Yeah.
And it just looks like, my team is still playing as of now, but I'm scared it's going to be a mid-season cancellation,
Yeah.
Because I don't know, because I think didn't Purdue's conference already cancel?
Yeah, Big Ten's done. Pac-12's done. I legitimately don't see how they can.
There's no point, I don't think, in even doing it. But if they do, I'll be happy. It'll just be a weird season. Bummer. Just a bummer.
Yeah, it's I can't see how they can I was literally actually just talking about this. I can understand the NFL to an extent. It's stupid, but and it's probably not a good idea, but I get it. College football is a little different because these are kids who are just, kids, but they're, some of them aren't going on to, well, first of all, they're not getting paid, but some of them aren't even going on to play in professional sports or whatever. This is just something that they're doing in college. They might be good, but they're not quite on that elite level.
Yeah.
So it's on one hand, I feel sorry for them. On the second hand, why would you put their lives in danger like that? Because they were just talking about one of the big reasons that the Big Ten canceled was because of heart issues that have kind of arose in people who have what do you call it? Who have had COVID and stuff like that. And so they're they were basically saying, can we in good conscience, put people out there and then go to a parent after their son has been infected and say, hey, yeah, sorry, your son might have heart conditions and heart issues now going forward because he's been, diagnosed with COVID and stuff. So I don't know. I would probably say just err on the side of caution and don't have it at all this year,
I'm a psycho. I think we should have.
But that's okay. That's what for me. But that's what I like. That's what I like about you is you're willing to take the risks and you're willing to
willing to risk the lives of all the college football players.
Not even your own life, just everyone around you.
All of them.
Okay, let's see again. I'm skipping around here a lot. Let's see. Okay, Movie Files is in here. If you had to pick, which do you prefer? A movie with a great first and second act, but mediocre ending, or a movie with a mediocre first two acts, but a great ending? Tyler, I'm going to throw this to you first.
Easy. Mediocre first two acts and a great ending. If you stick the landing, I'm much more likely to go back to it. If you have a bad ending, like Game of Thrones, it's not a movie, but it's a TV show. It's there's no reason for me to rewatch that show ever again. That's true. I didn't like the ending, but if you know, if a movie kind of starts out kind of slow and, you know, has a killer ending, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that was cool. I can go back to that.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. Oh, that's true, but that's so true because the ending is arguably the most important part of your movie.
It is,
People are more willing to forgive, you know, the mistakes of the first two acts if, you know, you're able to end it on a satisfying note. I'm trying to think of like a good example of that where it's just like the first two acts I was like, I was a little iffy on, and then it really like came and brought it back home for the ending.
I know. I'm trying to think too off the top of my head. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. But
well, let's see. Colin Williams is also joining us today. So, Colin, do you have an answer to this? And do you have a movie off the top of your head that you can think of?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, what's up, guys? How's it going?
It's a very loose, casual video today.
Yeah, definitely that. I would want an ending to stick the landing. Like I'm just thinking like some of my favorite movie endings of all time, and even for like great movies, like an ending to a movie I love, and I love the whole movie, but like A Quiet Place, that ending just like got me so pumped and like made me love it even more, even though I love the first two acts. I'm trying to think of a movie that like kind of actually did do that, but like yeah, movies don't stick the landing all the time. That's like my big like I watched like a couple movies last week where I was like, oh, I was really digging it, and then like the ending totally sucked.
Yeah, that's
one I can kind of think of. It didn't have a bad ending, but I just watched Project Power last night, the new Netflix movie, and I thought it started off pretty awesome. It was a really fun time, but I thought it kind of got a little mediocre as it went on. I was like, yeah, I'll probably never watch this again, even though I liked it. But yeah, I don't know. That one kind of started off stronger, and it, you know, as it went on, I was kind of like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's interesting because I kind of dug the ending of Project Power, but yeah, I don't know. I think we can all basically agree that it's like when a movie hits the ending, you're more likely to forgive the faults.
I mean, people argued Avengers Endgame. People said the first two acts were slow, but the third act was just so. I like the first two acts as well. Okay. I liked all three acts, but I'm saying some people like thought the third act was so amazing that they didn't care.
That's actually a really good like example to bring up because you're right. I mean, I don't agree because I love the whole leftovers sort of vibe of the first act, and then the you know the time warp whatever thing of the second one. It's just like really interesting and weird. But yeah, man. Literally everyone is they always talk about the third act of that movie. Like that's what we've been waiting for. So I agree with you. I think that is a good example there.
I mean, I watched what was it? I'm sorry. I watched Crazy Stupid Love. I was really digging it, and then the ending, I was like, I give up. This sucks.
See, okay, I'm curious. Why did you hate that movie? Because Tyler and I are big fans of that.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it at all. I actually really enjoyed the first two acts, really, and then the well, first of all, the whole thing is like, you know, the twist at the end that Emma Stone's related to Steve Carell's character. And, like
it's so funny.
It's funny, and it worked. But then you had the whole thing where it's like, I hate speeches at the end of movies. You had like Steve Carell saying this big like motivational speech at his kid's graduation. I was like, oh, come on, all right, can we just end this already? Like it was clever. Like I understood that it was like it had like a nice little like cool twist to it, and I appreciated some aspects. But then you're looking at if you're thinking about it now that you know the twist, you're like, okay, you needed Emma Stone's character in it for that twist to make sense. But I would just rather just them not do the twist and then just not have her character in it at all, because I just much rather like the dynamic between Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling doing their thing and then come up with a different ending. So for me to be satisfied, they'd kind of have to change the movie. But the ending that we had, it makes sense that we wasted time with Emma Stone's character. Right. But I just think we wasted time and we got an ending that was okay, but then it just went on and got too goofy at the end, if that makes sense.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, it does. It gets a little sappy at the end for sure. I think that's who's the guy who wrote Crazy Stupid Love? Is it Dan Fogelman, the guy who did This Is Us? Is it him? Yeah. It's very much his brand of you know.
It's fun.
All that stuff. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I love that movie so much.
It's a better version of Hitch.
That's you're probably right, but I
love Hitch.
Don't be dissing Hitch, man.
No, I don't hate Crazy Stupid Love at all. I thought I actually really loved it, and then the third act kind of like soured my taste a little bit. Like what you're saying, if the ending was better, I would have loved the movie. Like that's what's like a good point. But
you heard it here first, folks. Colin Williams hates Hitch.
Yeah, I hate Hitch.
All right, next one. 402 asking, Mr. Criterion Reviews, I realize it wasn't a popular thing, but I'm glad you tried something different. I wish more people would dig into the past to find the gems out there. Yeah, and I mean, listen, there's no. I really appreciate you saying that. Listen, there's nothing saying that the show won't come back. It's I mean, it's like it's the the lack of viewership paired with the fact that I'm doing like 3 live streams a week now. It was just sort of like, I don't know if this one is really worth the extra effort. Like classic and Criterion films is something that I'm always going to want to talk about. And actually, if you head on over to the, well, not now, but soon, you can head on over to the FilmSpeak website, and one of our contributors is going to be writing like monthly, Criterion columns over there, or really just like a series of stuff over there. So. And I think that might be a better place for it, just because, I think the people who are more inclined to discover that sort of thing and the people who really want to dig into that are probably more inclined to just read it on a website as opposed to, like a 30-minute live stream or something like that. It just, I don't know, it just didn't quite get the track. I mean, I wasn't hoping for the most amount of traction. I just did it because I wanted to do it. But also when I was stacking stuff on top of it, and it was just like, maybe my efforts are better placed elsewhere. So, but that's not to say it can't come back. But for right now, it is on hold. So, but thank you for that. Okay. Movie Files. What's up, everyone? Happy Saturday. Are you excited for DC Fandom, and what panel are you most looking forward to, and why? Also, any surprise announcements that you think we'll get next week? Well, thanks, Elliot, for joining again. Sorry, I guess I missed your first question, and this was your first question. Yeah, are you guys excited for Fandom? It's like actually, it's less than a week away, I guess, now.
Actually, I am. Yeah, from what I'm seeing on Twitter, usually I wouldn't be interested in this kind of thing, but from what I'm seeing on Twitter, it seems like there's going to be some probably teaser trailers for some movies dropping.
Yeah, that's
like the Suicide Squad, maybe the Batman, maybe we get to see some costumes or something. But I'm actually pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, man. The Batman is obviously kind of the number one thing I'm looking forward to. Any surprise stuff? Probably maybe some Superman news. Henry Cavill's been rumored to come back and stuff. So maybe if they were like, oh, this is happening, this is a full on thing that we're gonna move forward on, that would be kind of a surprise thing. I don't know if that's 100%, guaranteed or anything, but the Batman's definitely one that I'm interested in seeing a teaser trailer for or something. And then the Suicide Squad 2 as well. But as far as actually paying attention, I'll just look at the highlights on Twitter and people's reaction. I won't really watch it or anything.
Yeah, there might be some panels that I watch because I don't know if any of the footage will get leaked to the public. I don't know. I assume if you're watching these panels and they're only available for 24 hours, that there's going to be exclusive stuff that you cannot get outside of the Fandom and stuff like that. Obviously, I think if there's a trailer for the Suicide Squad, I mean, they'd be fools not to drop that, online. Same with, another teaser for the Batman and stuff like that. I know we got the Pattinson reveal, but
those both come out next year, right? Suicide Squad and Batman.
Does the Suicide Squad come out next year? I honestly forgot when that film is.
I think it comes out in 2021. I mean, it's already been filming. I can't imagine why it would come out in 2022. Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. Because that was the big thing. It's like when Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced that it's coming out in 2021. Everyone was like, "Holy shit! We've got the Suicide Squad, the Batman, Zack Snyder's Justice League." I think there was one other thing and whatnot.
David Ayer's cut of Snyder cut. No.
Yeah, right.
About Suicide Squad.
Yeah, right. No, yeah. So I guess you are right. I guess it is coming out next year. I just totally forgot. Honestly, film release dates have sort of just left me. Right now, it's like I just don't.
Well, when we break it on the podcast, I do all the time. It's like, oh, this movie release date, and it's like 2021 stuff. I'm like, I don't even care anymore, dude. I'm worried about this year's stuff. I'm still heartbroken over A Quiet Place 2 and all these 2020 movies. These 2021 and 2022 movies that are getting pushed back. It's like I'm not thinking that far ahead right now.
Yeah, I get that for sure. But as for the panels I'm most excited for, I think the Batman is the one that I really just want to see stuff from. And then the other one is the the untitled one where they're probably going to announce like a couple of new movies and whatnot. I think that's because maybe we'll get Batman Beyond announcement. Maybe we'll get, Zatanna, stuff like that. I don't know. That to me is that it's exciting because we have no idea what to expect. But yeah, I don't know. It should be a fun time. Let's see. What is your, well, I guess we'll go with this one, even though I feel what's your biggest unpopular opinion? Tyler, you're the king of unpopular opinion.
Where to start?
Yeah.
Where to start?
Oh man, I would say, I mean, the one that comes to mind, like Spider-Man 3 is a 10 out of 10 to me, I guess. I love
that is
I love that.
unpopular.
I love that opinion though. I love Spider-Man.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the whole trilogy is just like the bomb. And
dude, the whole trilogy is amazing.
All right, yeah, thank you. There are a few of us out there who like the trilogy.
I actually just did my Spider-Man ranking, and I had that at number 5, above Homecoming, actually.
3?
Oh, I agree.
Spider-Man 3, I had it at 5. I mean, I love, to be honest, I love most Spider-Man movies, honestly. Like, even the ones I don't really like, I still find enjoyment out of, so I don't hate that take at all.
No, yeah.
I don't hate it, but I also hate that movie. So it's so frustrating, man. I talk about this every time it comes up, but it's like they just botched it. They just completely botched it, and
Sony had to get their dirty little fingers in that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's infuriating. But Colin, I think we all know your unpopular opinion being that Mad Max is a bad movie. If you had to exclude that unpopular opinion, what would it be?
Yeah, Mad Max Fury Road's my number 1. I actually did a video on this, top 10 most unpopular opinions. But up there with another one I didn't even include on the list that's coming to mind right now. I think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind might be one of the most overrated movies ever made.
Wow.
I cannot stand that movie. I think it's so pretentious and I'm not a fan of that movie at all. Another thing,
do you have a heart and a soul?
Apparently not. Well, actually, that's funny. Is like I love romance movies. Like When Harry Met Sally is like one of my favorite movies of all time. Like I love rom-coms and stuff like that. And
right,
it just didn't connect with me, man. I get it. People really like the creative aspects of it. That one's up there. Love Spider-Man 3, like you said, Tyler. Trying to think some other ones. I'm not a big fan of like Lord of the Rings or anything, which is weird because I love Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter and I love Game of Thrones. So I'm not like opposed to like fantasy movies and like, like mythical type stuff. For whatever reason, I watched Lord of the Rings and it just simply doesn't connect with me for some reason. I mean, I understand I get it. Like, it's like well done. Like I'm not like bored or anything it's just like, I'm not really seeing what other people are seeing, like with like masterpiece. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Cause I have heard that you're not the first person who's said that. I feel like it's, I don't know, like even my parents do not want to watch Lord of the Rings. I just think it's so boring. And I mean, like,
I actually shouldn't have said I'm not bored because that's kind of the problem. I meant more like I'm not like mad at how bad it is. I'm like, I get why people like this, but I'm just not. I'm like, I like the acting, like the.
It doesn't work for you.
I'm just like I'm not getting it. I'm just not.
That's fair. That's fair. Tyler, do you concur?
I love Lord of the Rings. But I understand. It's not my favorite series, but it's funny as I get older, I like it more and more in a weird way. But I've always liked Fellowship. I've always loved that one. That's my favorite, the first Lord of the Rings.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first one. I remember watching it when I was a little kid too, and I remember really liking it. And I never saw like the second or third, and then I rewatched it like kind of recently, like the whole trilogy, and I was just like, because I was about to do a video, it was like my top 10 favorite trilogies. I'm like, I got to give Lord of the Rings another chance, and I tried so hard. Like I tried so hard to like it. It's not like I came in here like, oh, you gotta watch this stupid freaking dragon, mystical, like, wizard movie. No, I was like actually, excited to see it, and it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Tyler Van, there's an early screening for Tenet in Australia on the 22nd of August. I'm jealous of you. I F our country. No, hopefully you enjoy it, man. And I assume you're going to the early screening, so that'll be a blast. I'm so jealous. Okay, going down more. Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp #1 fan. Great to see you in here, buddy. Griffin, I must ask, why do you hate Deep Blue Sea so much? That movie is a classic. Well, first of all, I don't hate the movie.
No,
It's not a good movie. Like I just don't like. I don't think in any like I feel like even people who enjoy it are like people acknowledge like, yeah, it's like not good, but it's like really like just campy, fun entertainment, and it's like, you know, you see a bunch of sharks like attack these stupid people and whatnot in the station. I mean, I don't know. I feel like, and I think maybe we talked about this the last time we were on, but it reminds me of Poseidon, but it doesn't do what Poseidon does as well. I was just thinking it's like kind of like the whole concept is stupid. Like you're extracting like shark brain, whatever, in order to cure Alzheimer's or whatever. That's so just colossally dumb that I feel like if you don't accept that right off the bat, you're kind of, I don't know. It doesn't really work for you. And I don't know. I mean, it's got like the Samuel L. Jackson part was funny, but it was just like, all right. And then I don't know. There's stuff that happens towards the end. I just get like, okay. It's like stupid thing after stupid thing after stupid thing. But I understand that that's like the movie. That's just what it is. So like, I don't know. Do you guys? I know Tyler, you like Deep Blue Sea, but Colin, do you like the movie?
I've never even seen it. I don't. To be honest, the only shark movies I really like are Jaws and the Shallows with Blake Lively.
Yeah, those are my two favorite as well. Yeah,
I mean, in the Shallows is a big downgrade from Jaws, like a big step down. So if those are my first two, what does that tell you about shark movies? They're just not really my thing. Plus, being like, I used to actually like surf. I live on the East Coast of Florida. Like, I go out there. So even something like Jaws, as cool as a movie it is, it's like these movies where sharks just like hunt people. That's not realistic. That just doesn't happen. So I've always watching kind of like, dude, these like every shark attack is like almost all of them are accidents. I've probably swimming in the water with sharks and I've never gotten bit by a shark before. So, just like as someone who like actually is like kind of, seen like, that kind of like the beach life, I guess. It's it's funny, those like movies that they come out with. So I've never really even been that big of a fan, but I love Jaws. Love Jaws.
There you go. Tyler is also a fan of Jaws and Deep Blue Sea, right?
Yeah, huge fan. I do like shark movies. I'm even like kind of trashy, not like not like Sharknado, but like 47 Meters Down. I enjoy those. Open water. They're well made enough for me to kind of get into it. It's like, okay, I can do this. This is fun.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know why this just came to me. Do you guys ever remember that movie? I don't know if it was a shark film, but I remember going to Blockbuster and always seeing it next to Deep Blue Sea, but it was like Ghost Ship or something like that. You remember the poster for that?
Yeah, for some reason, like I always pair that one with 13 Ghosts. Those
really?
two movies for some reason. Yeah, I liked those a lot when I was younger.
Yeah, I can't explain why, but I always paired it with like Deep Blue Sea and Open Water and stuff like that. Probably because it was just like next to them on the DVD shelf and everything. But yeah, there's like so many.
Isn't that nice? That nostalgia of just going. But what's funny? You know how long? Like, so my uncle, he hasn't had a job in forever. He kind of had like a kind of a crazy past or whatever, and he hasn't had a job in forever either. And I told someone, I'll be like, you know how long it's been since my uncle's had a job? His last job was Blockbuster. and they're just like, okay, that's how you know it's how long it's been. Because it really is Blockbuster, because like Blockbuster's not even a company anymore, really. They're becoming an Airbnb place now.
That is so cool.
So cool.
Unfortunately, you can't rent it unless you live in the area. I mean, obviously, I think once this whole pandemic thing lifts, then they'll probably accept more people. But they charge like, what is it? It's like a couple of dollars. It's like $4. Yeah. Oh my God, that looks like an absolute blast. That looks like
deal. I don't know how they're charging it like that low. I would pay like a decent amount, not like all hundreds of dollars or anything, but like more than $4.
I feel like they want to go by the Blockbuster rules. It's like, okay, you rent the movie like $4 a night. You're basically paying for it. Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. It was really cool. I'm glad to see that they're doing that. Harold Thy Scarecrow. What software do you use to edit your videos? Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro, and I would recommend that everyone edit their videos on Premiere Pro.
Oh, I do not. I do not. I'm a Final Cut Pro guy to the
yeah. There's a strong following out there for the Final Cut peeps.
Well, to be fair, like the only reason I didn't go with Premiere is because you have to pay monthly, and I just wanted to do like a one-time payment. And like I'm like Apple kind of guy, so like Final Cut Pro, yeah, I switched over from iMovie, so it just kind of worked. But I mean, the things I do on it, like there's nothing I can't do on Final Cut Pro that I could do on. I could go the editing I could do on either one. It doesn't.
Oh,
really,
sure.
It's not like oh I need Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere to do that. It's like I'm just doing basic stuff with like footage and stuff.
I mean that's the thing is yeah, I mean like I obviously just prefer Premiere because I think it's more of like an actual editing software, but like Final Cut, like when I used to use that like way back in the day, like in high school and stuff like that, it was really intuitive. It rendered faster and
it does render really quickly. I will say that, which makes it. I will say though, do any movies any movies made on Final Cut Pro, or is it just Adobe?
It's mostly actually Avid. Avid is the editing software for that. But like the big thing was like David Fincher edited Gone Girl on Premiere Pro. That was like a huge thing because I think that was like the first movie to be edited. Like the first big movie to be edited on Premiere and like I know
documentaries are probably edited on Premiere Pro all the time though.
I mean, it really comes down to the fact that the industry doesn't want to change, and they don't want to adopt new things because they're kind of stuck in their own ways. So I mean that's just a case for the industry as a whole, but especially when it comes to editing. So Gagne 1, Neil Gaiman's Sandman series expected to start shooting for Netflix in October. Any thoughts about the series? Tyler, do you have any thoughts about this Sandman series?
Yeah, I'm excited. Curious to see how it turns out. I'm not like a massive Neil Gaiman fan, but I think he did American Gods, which is a pretty popular show. I think on Stars, which I couldn't really get into it, but yeah, I'll check it out for sure. I mean, I'll watch it. I like anything kind of like high quality fantasy series. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
So.
They've been trying to get this thing off the ground for so long, so I just hope that...
Didn't Just Warren Levitt try to do it too?
Yes!
I was more interested in that.
That I agree.
Was what I wanted. But
yeah, when he was attached to it, dude, I was like, okay, this is interesting. Because I know he's like a massive fan of the Sandman and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it, but I'm like, I don't really have any attachment to it. I mean, my roommate Brian is like a massive Sandman fan. But Tyler, I'm like you. I've never really gotten into Neil Gaiman all that much. But Colin, any thoughts?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm actually hearing about it. But yeah, I'm just not good about watching television. I'm really not. I'm much more of a movie guy, honestly. But it's weird. It's like I'm liking a show. Like I was watching Clone Wars season 4, just like stopped. Like I'm liking it. There's no reason I just like get into other stuff. So like. Most Netflix shows like that come out, I just don't really commit to unless it's a show I've kind of already committed to, like Ozark or something. Then I'm like, okay, then I'll watch the next season. But like The Witcher, I didn't check out. I still need to watch. I do love David Fincher, so I do need to watch Mindhunter. So I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, that's
I gotta watch that because that's like, I mean, David Fincher's my all-time favorite director. I gotta watch that. But like most of the shows on there, it's just like kind of, I don't know.
I was rewatching Zodiac the other night. I didn't finish it unfortunately because it's just so long. But and it was really late. But like Zodiac, it's watching that. I was just like, oh, this is how we got Mindhunter. This is the precursor to that series. And like the stuff that he does in it, and the way he structures it, the way he like conveys information. I mean, it plays out like a true crime documentary. And so, like, when you take that and you put it into a series, I feel like it almost functions a little bit better. But, man, I don't know. There's something about that, like, 2 hour, 40-some minute, like, just this, I guess, exploration of, like, the Zodiac murders and stuff.
That's my second favorite Fincher movie, dude, Behind the Social Network. The movie's phenomenal.
I think it's mine, too. Well, a second or third, because I really like Gone Girl, but...
dude, it's unbelievable. And with Mindhunter, did he direct all the episodes, or is he producer for some? Or
no, he directed. Tyler, do you remember how many episodes he directed?
He directed 2. I know the first 2 episodes of season 1, and then he may have done the first 2 episodes of season 2 as well. But he didn't do all of them.
Yeah, but it's basically his like.
It looks like he directed all of them. Like it's his
Yeah.
style, very much his style throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
It looks like a David Fincher movie.
Yeah.
He's a genius. He shoots on digital too. The frowned upon.
He does. He's the. Did you ever watch that documentary Side by Side?
I have not seen that. I've heard about it.
You should watch it. It's a really great sort of just like exploration of like the people who are proponents of digital, the people who are proponents of film, and whatnot.
Side by Side. I'll have to. What's it on?
I don't even know. It came out like several years ago, but it was you can probably just rent it for a couple of bucks, but it's like all like the major like filmmakers and stuff are interviewed in there. I can't remember if Nolan's on there or not, but I know like Fincher's
he might
there.
because he's a big proponent of film, obviously.
Yeah, no, I think he might. I think he might be in there for a little bit, but I don't know. It's just really interesting hearing them talk about it and the comparison and like talking about how far digital has come and stuff. Like I don't know. For me personally, I still don't think you can replicate the look of film digitally.
No, I mean the first few MCU movies they look a lot better than the later. Well, now they're getting better, but like the Iron Man looked fantastic, and then you look at something like Captain America: Civil War, which I'm actually like finishing up right now. It's like much more muted and gray, but then you get like I think they changed cameras around like Guardians Volume 2, which looks like way better as well.
Civil War is also just like a really disgusting looking movie. Like I really have no idea.
I like legit. I think that's like one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, and depending on the day, might be my favorite MCU movie. But it's not a good looking movie.
For sure.
I will say I can't deny that fact.
Yeah, I don't know, Tyler. Do you think that digital can replicate the look of film?
Not at all. Not at all. I can't remember. There was one movie. I can't remember what it was though. That looked like it was shot on film, but it was shot digitally. That looked pretty. It looked pretty freaking good. I can't remember the name of it though. But do what?
Oh, go ahead, man. I was just gonna mention Little Women was shot on film, and that is amazing work. Like the color grading she did as well, dude.
Yeah,
like, Little Women was like just a perfect example. Like, and she was told to shoot on film for that movie as well by Steven Spielberg. She was like Greta Gerwig. But yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, the movie looked great, but for the most part, no, I don't think it can be replicated. You can always tell when something's shot on film. It just looks better.
There's like something tangible about it. I think the closest film has come to looking like digital is probably Skyfall. I think Skyfall is like that's probably as best as you're gonna get it on digital, and that's also taking into account that Roger Deakins is shooting your movie and is like on another fucking level when he's shooting your movie. So I don't know, because I even like Blade Runner 2049 I think it's a great movie, or I think it's a good movie, but and the cinematography is breathtaking, but like there's nothing in that film that makes me go, yeah, that could have been on celluloid. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when like the Oscars were going on that year, I was like, everyone was like, oh, Blade Runner 2049 is going to take best cinematography. Granted, like, okay, it's probably sounds weird coming from me, but like, or probably sounds like, oh God, of course he says that coming from me. But like, I swear to God, I thought Dunkirk had the best cinematography of that year. Like, it just not even just like the way it looks, the fact that it was shot on celluloid, like there was just a richness to the colors and like some of the framing and the shots in there. Like I know you can say the same thing about Blade Runner, take any still from a film and it's just like basically art, but I don't know, man. There's something more impressive about the work in Dunkirk in my opinion about versus like, 2049. But 2049 gave Deakins his first Oscar, so I can't really be upset about that. Okay, Max talks movies. If you could take any Bond actor and have them star in a different Bond film, which actor and film would you choose? Does anyone have, before I go, does anyone have a pick for this one?
I don't. I've been seeing all the Bond.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think Griffin and I would be better friends if I like Bond just a tad more.
Possibly.
Like me more.
I don't know. Tyler's tried. I've tried the small amount of time that he stayed with me when he was looking for an apartment. I was like, dude, I'm gonna have you watch a bunch of these. And
yeah, we did. They were good. Yeah, I mean, I wanted more. Who was it? Was Timothy Dalton? Dalton?
Yeah.
I loved him. He was good. Definitely would like to see more of him. But man, I would say, I mean, just really I love Craig. He's my favorite, but I would love to see Brosnan in any of Craig's movies, like Brosnan in Casino Royale or like Skyfall. That it'd just be so cool to see him again. play the character.
Yeah, that's I agree with you. I think that would be anything with Brosnan where he could be in like better films. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that his movies are bad, but it's just like if he had like the craftsmanship and artistry of like the Craig era movies, you know, behind his stuff, I think that could be really interesting. I mean, you know, Craig and some of the Dalton movies would be good. I think Connery and the Dalton movies would be good. Dalton and like, you know, Casino Royale or some of those would be fun. Yeah, I mean, really, like take Sean Connery, Timothy Dalton, and Daniel Craig and kind of like switch them around to some of their movies. I think that could be really good. I feel like Roger Moore, though, he has to stay in the era that he's in. Like, you can't put him elsewhere. He could only have been James Bond in the 70s. So, anyways, thank you for the question. Okay, 402 asking anyone here like Charlie Chaplin movies? Does anyone like Charlie Chaplin?
I've seen a few, like The Great Dictator, and like with the movies that I've seen of his, there are great moments, like great standout moments, but like the movies as a whole, I never like go back. You know, I never want to like go back to them because you know it's a different kind of movie, different from a different era. But they're really well made, like exceptionally well made. Yeah,
I would say crap. The what is it? The Great Dictator. I love.
Yeah,
I
think that's probably my favorite. Yeah, that or The Kid.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
I think I saw Modern Times when I was in college, and I remember liking it. I don't remember a whole lot because it's been a couple years, but that's the only one I've seen, I believe.
Yeah, I will. Oh, sorry, I've seen City Lights too. City Lights is really good. I mean, obviously, like the Criterion Charlie Chaplin movies are like quintessential. Yeah, exactly. They're so good. So yeah, I mean, listen, he's someone who like really defined like a style of filmmaking and whatnot. So and like, you know, early like comedy, you know. So I feel like there's something, you know, people should seek out those films and watch them because they're you know, whether or not you like silent movies or whatnot, there's a lot of stuff to be entertained by in them. And I think you know, if any of you maybe are a little reluctant to watch silent films, maybe give a Chaplin film a shot because they're fun. They're good. Okay, Tyler Van. For Tyler, it's awesome knowing someone else appreciates and likes Eyes Wide Shut a lot. One of my favorites of all time and so underrated.
Yeah, favorite Kubrick movie. I got the poster hanging up right there. I love Eyes Wide Shut so much. I think it's might even be in my top 10 of all time. Any chance I get to go see that like at the theater, I take it. It's just so good. So
yeah, because you saw it last year, right? Like around when?
They played it at Christmas time at the New Beverly, and it was sold out. It was an amazing experience. It was one of my favorite movie-going experiences ever. It was so good.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that movie.
Colin, have you ever seen Eyes Wide Shut?
I haven't. I need to dive more into Kubrick's work. I have a lot of his films on Blu-ray, but a lot of it, Ryan, the guy I do the podcast with, knows a lot of the movies I haven't seen. So he'll assign me. We'll do like a segment called The Culture Project where he'll make me watch movies. I watched The Shining for the first time not too long ago. I'd never seen it. So I'll watch. I think I got two of them, one Space Odyssey over there somewhere. So I'll watch it at some point. But I did see A Clockwork Orange. That movie's nuts.
Yeah,
that one's really good. And I read the book as well. But yeah, so I haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, for sure. It's good. It is good. Let's see. But well, actually, sorry. I keep looking at the chat and like trying to like you know, comment on this. But I like Eyes Wide Shut. I don't think it's my favorite Kubrick at all. You know, but it is because that was the last. Was that the last movie he made?
He died before it came out.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
What he died in like the 90s, right? 99 or something like that.
Yeah, he died in 99. There was some controversy because he died before the final edit. Like he was almost done editing the movie, but they had to finish it. You know, when he, you know, a few weeks after he died, they had to make the release date. So there's like always some controversy of like, you know, would Kubrick have liked the cut that they released? Like, what did they cut? What did they?
That's true. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and then he was working on AI, and then Steven Spielberg had to like step in and finish it.
Yeah, I love that movie. That's kind of a cool story.
That's such a bizarre film, man. It is like, it's like feels part Spielbergian, but then it's also just like so cold and like weird. It's such a. It is truly like a true mix. It is a true mixture of both Spielberg and Kubrick. It's strange. It's very strange. Who are two filmmakers that were just like, I couldn't think of more different people, just in like
different.
just in terms of like their approach to stuff. Like Spielberg's so warm and like welcoming, and like
it'd be
Kubrick is
like
very
it'd be like Clint Eastwood and like
Yeah.
he's super relaxed guy, and then someone like super high energy or something.
Yeah, it'd be nuts. Yeah, right. You have a Clint Eastwood. You know, hopefully this doesn't happen, but like Clint Eastwood passes away and then Edgar Wright steps in to finish his movie.
Yeah,
That would be the weirdest thing.
I almost said that, but I literally Clint Eastwood and Edgar Wright, just like completely two different filmmakers. I love both of those guys.
That'd be so strange. Tyler Van again. Who's a better Mad Max, Mel Gibson or Tom Hardy? Well, Colin, do you? We know you hate Fury Road, but do you like any of the other Mad Max movies?
I haven't seen them. I've only seen Mad Max Fury Road.
They are worth watching.
Yeah, I've heard the thing. I've heard. I mean, that'd be really interesting if I didn't like Mad Max Fury Road, which I already know I don't like. But then I watched the other ones and I enjoyed it. So I never saw Mel Gibson in the role. I know he obviously plays him. Tom Hardy. What's funny about people praise those performances in the movie and stuff. I mean, like the action's kind of where it's at and stuff. But I mean, he's just not given a whole lot to do in the movie. I mean, it's just he looks good. He's a good action star. So I mean, it's just something. It's not even like really the thing that stands out in that movie. Tom Hardy.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler.
Man, I probably they're both great. Tom Hardy did such a good job. It's weird because his movies are the best. I think Fury Road is the best of the bunch. But
right,
man, Gibson's a great. I mean, he was a great Mad Max, man. And to be honest, in a weird way, I might have to give Gibson the edge just because if I could choose, I would love for Gibson to come back as the character.
I would too.
Right? I mean, I just think that would be so cool. I think he'd be great too.
He absolutely would be. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like, I mean, my God, Mel Gibson is just like, on another level. He's like he's not a good person. Let's put it that way. But like, I don't know. There's something like him as an actor. If you separate the art from the artist, like he is just so good. He's so versatile, and he's just able to pour so much emotion into every single character he plays, whether or not it's like, visibly seen. Well, yeah, directing, but like, in something like, gosh, I don't know, like the Patriot, for example, it's like there are so many just like, jaw-dropping emotional moments in that film where it's just like he's giving a monologue or he's talking to his kids and he's just like breaking down and sobbing, and just I don't know, it really shows you just like the quality of actor that he is. Even in Signs, I think
he should have been nominated for an Oscar in Signs. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal in that movie. Yeah,
he really is. The when he's talking to Joaquin about his wife. Oh my gosh, that part is so heartbreaking. But only Gibson could sell something like that. It's so strange because for someone who is so harsh and just like abrasive and crass and stuff like that, he is so vulnerable when he needs to be. And I think that's what's made him such a, that's why people love him as an actor. It has nothing to do with like the kind of person he is. It's just like the quality of work he turns in. And so as it pertains to Mad Max, Tom Hardy probably has slightly the better movie. I really, really, really love The Road Warrior. I think that's an incredible film. But Mel Gibson basically formed the character, right? Like it's like he created the template that Hardy took and then kind of like made his own. And yeah, I don't know. I really like the first Mad Max, which is like this super, oh my God, it's this ridiculously low budget, like grindhouse film. And there's some pretty emotional moments in it that you see flashbacks of in Fury Road, which I thought was a nice touch. But like Gibson, just he's good. He's great at selling that stuff. But great question. I surprisingly had more to say about that than I thought. And then Zach Marsh saying Gibson, Tom Hardy is a better actor, but Gibson defined the character. I still don't understand why Fury Road is even a Mad Max movie. That's fair. That's but I guess I would argue that all Mad Max movies are never really about Max. He's sort of just like, the wandering traveler guy who kind of stumbles into these situations. He's never like the focal point, if you will. So I get where you're coming from, but I think that's just kind of keeping in line with the trajectory of the franchise. And I don't know. Do you think Tom Hardy's a better actor, Tyler?
Nah. they're both great. Like but like for me personally, I'm more interested in what Mel Gibson's doing as an actor. I'm just, if I hear both of them have a movie come out, I'm going to be more interested in seeing what Gibson's doing.
Yeah, but do you think that that's partly because we've gotten Tom Hardy so much, within the past, decade or so?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean that could be possible. We have gotten a lot of him. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I just think Gibson's just slightly better. I don't know. Because Hardy's great, but for me, some of his characters they're very similar. Like he's a very similar acting style. Like
that's fair.
I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying. Colin, do you have an opinion on this at all?
I lose all credibility, I guess, when I talk about Mad Max, but okay. Because I hate the best movie of all time in the series. So I guess my opinion doesn't matter. No, I mean I don't really have. But like as far as acting goes, I mean
that's basically what I was getting at. Like
I mean both are great. I actually probably prefer Mel Gibson over as a director even more than an actor. But Tom Hardy is an interesting one to me because it's more of I don't know if the things I love about Tom Hardy isn't necessarily like the actual like performance and the acting. It's always kind of like the persona and just kind of like his just the vibe that he gives off in his movies. He just has such a presence to him. You look at something like he's a lot of times subdued in his perfoofmances and kind of like the straight man and really serious and stuff. That's why I like Inception, because he's kind of he's able to be kind of funny and a little bit more of like a goofball and stuff in that movie.
Fair.
He's a great actor, but I think it's more just like Tom Hardy. Like he's just like the man. It's not really like I don't really see him as like just like this huge, like, gonna deliver this amazing monologue or something like that. I think that's not it's not kind of the actor he is. So I'd probably say Mel Gibson. Personally.
Yeah, I guess here's a pretty good example. I could see Mel Gibson doing Mad Max. I couldn't see Tom Hardy doing what Mel Gibson did in Signs. I just can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's a good comparison. They are very different actors in that regard.
Yeah.
Zach Marsh, my biggest hot take is that The Florida Project is one of the worst movies ever made.
What? Oh my god!
Listen, Colin. It was payback because you hurt him with that Eternal Sunshine hot take. So.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, Florida Project, depending on the day, is my favorite A24 movie. I mean, Uncut Gems, you got it right. Uncut Gems is right behind you. I think that's not my number one. I'd probably put Lady Bird up there as well. But then I think Florida Project, depending on what mood I am, dude, I live in Florida. I mean, come on. Like the Florida Project, I mean, that's my movie, and it is so real and authentic. And the performances, none of them are experienced actors or actresses. They're unbelievable. I think it's the young girl that plays Moni in the movie, maybe my favorite child acted performance of all time. Yeah, she's unbelievable, and there's certain parts of it that feel even a little nostalgic. That not the feeling of like being homeless or anything, but like being able to roam around and just kind of getting into some trouble and not this like this tech age where we're all like texting each other. It's just like roaming around on the hot summer day, like trying to find out like quarters on the side of the road to buy an ice cream. It's like how street smart these little kids were, despite how you when you first meet them, they're so they're such like shitty kids, but then you kind of realize, okay, well, they're actually kind of sweet at heart and and you just really discover so much about their character. I think it's a beautiful movie, and one of my favorite A24 movies for sure.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. Like I don't know. Sean Baker, I think, can be a little pretentious just in general as a person, but I think the movie's good. So, let's see. Eli Taylor, favorite Michael Mann film. Tyler.
Easy. Collateral. With right behind it, I put The Insider. I think that's Mann's most underrated.
The Insider's good, dude.
Freaking great. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Collateral, hands down, it's just awesome. It's awesome. Yeah,
Collateral's just, I mean, if you want to see Tom Cruise in just like a completely different light, watch Collateral. And then also maybe watch Rock of Ages because he's very weird in that. Don't actually watch that movie. It's not a good movie.
It's a weird movie.
Yeah. No, I would say for me, I mean, how do you not go with Heat? Like, to me, that's just quintessential Michael Mann. That's like what he does. He is like the crime filmmaker. And that's like the the quintessential crime movie. Basically. So, and I love, and the scene between Pacino and De Niro is like one of the greatest scenes of all time. I mean, it's like super influential, inspired The Dark Knight, obviously. Yeah, I love Val Kilmer in that film too. God, he does not get enough credit.
I think he might be my favorite part of the movie, to be honest.
Yeah, he's so good in that film, and just oh my god, the look of that film, the shootouts are just like the sound of the gunshots, like it pounds into it, just like, you know, I don't know, I feel like it could like knock me on my ass just from just like listening to it. It just, you feel the bullets and everything. It's just, it's so good. It's so good. It is the ultimate crime epic. So that's probably my favorite. I do want to give a shout out to The Last of the Mohicans though. That's a good movie. That is a very good movie, and it has one of the best scores of all time.
Score's great, yeah.
Yeah. Colin?
I don't think I've seen a movie by him. I've never seen Heat. I need to see Heat. I've heard some things. I know I did watch that movie, Den of Thieves, which apparently was a ripoff of Heat. People were saying. I'd never seen Heat. So
but Den of Thieves is good, man.
Den of Thieves is fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Dude, people like hated it. They did not get like a good, reception. And I had so much fun with that movie. I was so tense by the end, and Gerard Butler was amazing. Oh my god, what's Ice Cube's son's name again?
Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Every time I see him, I'm just like, I just get like warm and fuzzy inside. I'm like, dude, I love this guy. He's so awesome. He just got such a good personality. I just like, he seems like such a good guy. And he's fantastic in the movie too. I love him.
Yeah. I remember
50 Cent in it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I remember going to see that movie.
I was dreading it.
Oh god, I was so nervous.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, I'm gonna hate this movie. It's one of the biggest surprises of all time.
Yeah, for real, dude. I just remember watching the trailers and kind of like ironically getting stoked to see it, but then like the more I kind of watched him, I know, I was like, am I actually excited to see this movie? And then I went to the press screening.
I knew nothing about it. I just walked in, like my friend saying, "Oh, it's a cop and robber movie." I was like, okay. I didn't see a trailer or anything.
Yeah, I went to the press screening and I was like, I fucking love this movie. It is so good. And Gerard,
why do you think it wasn't received very well? Like, why do you think
it's just a Heat ripoff, but like it's actually a really good Heat ripoff. Like if you're gonna rip off Heat, and like really rip it off, not like do your own thing with it, I think like it's pretty solid. I don't know. I just think like, people I like Gerard Butler is like really over the top, obviously, but I think that's part of why I love his character.
Best performance, man. I think it's best performance.
It honestly might be. It's like either that or King Leonidas.
Just eating donuts off the ground and stuff.
It's him eating food the entire movie, and it is so entertaining.
I love that they're eating hibachi, and he's like, You go to my gym, and he's like, and he's just like, the performance there. It's so, it's so much fun. He's having so much fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, like that's the thing. It's like he's like, you hate him, right? Like he's just such a shitty person. It's like oh my god. There's so many lines from that trailer and from the movie that I just like that stuck out to me, and it was like so funny. It's like
I just remember it ended, and I was like. It was January. I was like, this might be like an A+.
Yeah.
Really weird.
I mean, it's one of my. I don't even want to call it a guilty pleasure because I think it's genuinely a well-made movie.
I think it's a good movie. Yeah.
I was really surprised that I'm glad I brought the movie up because I didn't know you guys would be so passionate about it.
Oh no, dude, we are like probably two of the biggest defenders.
No, that's made our top 10 list of the year.
That's funny. I had no idea you guys had those opinions because I feel like the exact same way. I've always like loved that movie, and I mean it's on Netflix. I still watch it.
Man, I wanted to rewatch that. I started it, but it was like so late and the movie's so long. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna fall asleep in the middle of this. I need to go back and rewatch that.
Awesome. It's
so good. Yeah, right.
One of the best.
And the twist they did with
phenomenal, dude.
It was like, what was it? Who the hell was? I was talking to another critic after the screening. He was like, it's kind of like Fast 5 meets Heat. And I was like, you're not wrong. Like,
the ending plays out exactly like the twist of Fast 5, the exact same way. Like these filmmakers just copied everything to a T, and they're like, we don't care. Like, yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, oh my god, I need to rewatch this movie. It's like so, and I think they're still working on a second one, right?
Yeah.
Like there's supposed to be a sequel. I gotta see that, dude.
No, I can't wait.
Gotta come out soon. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh gosh, got me so excited. Den of Thieves, man. That is anytime someone says Den of Thieves, I just get so excited and happy.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, right. All right, let's see. Questions here. We'll take a few more and then we'll start to close this out. So start sending in your best questions, guys. Let's see. Okay, Zach Marsh, what is the best Iron Man film?
3.
I love that pick. Okay, let's put it this way. I watched the first I'm doing my MCU rewatch right now, leading up to Black Widow. I'm like doing a review series on my channel, and I watched Iron Man. I was like, dude, this movie is so great. And I'm watching Iron Man 3, and I'm like, dude, I think I'm ready to say this is my favorite Iron Man movie. Then we get Guy Pearce coming out there in cargo shorts saying, I am the Mandarin. I was like, you went back a little bit. Like I was tracking with you for a while. And I still love Iron Man 3, and I love the finale, but just when it becomes him out there with the shirt off, it just got a little cartoony. I guess you could say the same for the first Iron Man. The ending's not great to that movie either. Well, that's actually probably even worse because it's a little underwhelming. But yeah, I mean, Iron Man 1 and 3 are so great. Iron Man 2 sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 is not good. I would say
3 and 1 are just hand in hand for me, but 1 is just, I think, just the better made movie.
I think 3 is the best one. Like that's a brilliant film, and it took me a couple of years to come around.
It's the best written film in the MCU as far as not like plot wise, but dialogue, like the interaction between characters. It's Shane Black. I mean, obviously, but it's the best written film in the MCU in my opinion.
Yeah. It took me a while. It took me like several years to come around on Iron Man 3, just because I really disliked that movie for the longest time, and then
I've always loved it. Yeah,
I sat down one time and I guess accepted the movie, and I don't know. I think
that was me with Rogue One. I hated Rogue One when I first saw it. I hated Rogue One, and then I finally gave it another chance, and I was like, I get it. This movie's awesome. I coming off of The Force Awakens, it's just so like high energy, kind of like that roller coaster ride. And I'm like, this is boring. It's kind of sad and depressing by the end, and the ending was obviously kind of cool with Darth Vader. But then saw that movie finally, and I was like, dude. Yeah,
and it just kind of worked for you. Yeah,
it just worked for me. It was like one of those rare occasions where I hate a movie and then love it.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing with Iron Man 3 for me. And I agree with you. It's the best written film in the MCU. It's the most other than, I don't know, I'd say even more so than James Gunn with Guardians. I feel like Iron Man 3 is like the true example of Marvel letting their directors sort of run with the project and just giving them
it's so Tony Stark centric. He's having to not have the Iron Man suit, has to do things like it kind of really gets to, and it's like the action is like the most creative action sequences. The whole the stuff where he's he's got the arm on, but then he got one leg on, and he's having to fly around shooting. It's just super creative what they're doing. Like the final action scene, he's jumping off the railings and do another Iron Man. It's just really creative how they wrote it. I think it's the writing's genius.
Yeah, and it probably is the best way an MCU film has ever started. With the blue playing, and then so my god, it just gets you pumped. It really does.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies for sure.
It is. All of Shane Black's films are Christmas movies, so except for Predator, but that's a horrible. Actually, no, Predator might.
Was Nice Guys a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it takes the ending. Yeah, see, it's at Christmas.
Why am I blanking on that? I haven't seen that movie in a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Igosa Osula, clarifying on the question they asked at the beginning of the stream. Here's a clear question. What are you guys fans of Siskel and Ebert? Who are some of your favorite movie critics? Yeah, I really do like Siskel and Ebert, and I think they are basically the guys that made it okay to review films on camera. It's basically the original film YouTube channel, Siskel and Ebert. What they're doing and the way they talk about movies is so just accessible. It's entertaining. Together, they're just really they have a great dynamic. And they agree and disagree. At the right moments. For sure. I feel like every film critic should probably watch them and take pages, take notes from them and stuff like that. But I don't know, some of my other favorite movie critics, I gotta think about that. There's a lot that I really admire online that are not YouTubers that like do written stuff.
Yeah. Some ones that come to mind for written people is Christy Lemire, and Matt Atchity, and Alonzo Duralde. They used to actually do a YouTube channel called What the Flick, and then they do different. I think Alonzo writes for The Wrap. I really like those three guys a lot. Ben. There was another guy on their like team. I forget his name, but there are some good like not what we do. Written critics. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Robert Daniels, who's a freelance critic, and he writes around a bunch of publications. He writes the Playlist. I think he just had a piece published at IGN. Whenever I read his writing, I'm like, damn, he is so good. Like just the way he kind of like digs into stuff. It's really, really impressive. But I don't know, Tyler, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, like written, I think David Ehrlich's the best for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For IndieWire, I don't always agree with him. Most of the time, I don't, but I can't wait to see when he has a review come out. But like, as far as like, other reviewers, I mean, I'm not saying this just because like you're on here, but really, I just for now, like, Stuckman, I used to agree with them on a lot, but lately we've been kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum. I just go to Griffin and Zach, really. I mean, those are really the only two dudes I trust. So
yeah, I watch my friends, man. I watch my friends.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like even like, because I probably started watching movie reviews back in like 2013, Chris Stuckman and all those guys. And obviously, but I've kind of I watched, still when they make a new video, I watch it. But, the guys I really watch are like the people I've actually interacted with on the platform. And I go to them first, and that's just that. And you comment on all their videos to show support and stuff like that. So that's kind of where. As far as Siskel and Ebert, though, they didn't like Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man. So I have some beef. No, I'm just kidding. But like, no, yeah, I do like them. My dad actually watched them a lot, so I watched some kind of in the later years. And
cool.
Watched some highlights. But my dad was a big fan of Siskel and Ebert, so he kind of even told me, like, even if I didn't like actually watch, he said, "Oh, he had this opinion on the movie or whatever." If you remembered it,
Yeah. No, I think there was a clip that I remember seeing when they were talking about like the approach to film criticism, basically don't make it like flowery and pretentious. Just like like talk about your experience, how you felt about it. I don't know. It was just like really, and that's really doing that clip and segment a disservice. But the way they were sort of like, addressing it, I was like, they're right. So I don't know. I love listening to them. So, or I did. Well, you go back and watch clips and stuff. But anyways, all right. Jacob Juice. Today is the anniversary of Apocalypse Now, 41 years. What is your opinion on the film? Thank you guys for the fun live streams. Yeah, of course, man. Tyler.
I love Apocalypse Now. I was able to see it last year in IMAX when they did the re-release, and it was great. And it's a great movie that still holds up.
Yeah, I agree. Colin?
Never seen it.
Oh my god. Well, maybe you should watch it tonight. It's 41st anniversary.
Yeah.
What's it on? So I don't have it on Blu-ray, but I've never seen it.
I mean, you can probably rent it. Is it still on Netflix?
It was on Netflix for a while. It's fine. It goes on and off Netflix all the time.
Yeah. It might be on there. If it's not, it's just worth a rent, dude. It's seriously, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. It probably is like, I don't know. It might be the best war film ever made. It's like either that or, like 1917 Dunkirk, Saving Private Ryan, stuff like that. But it's like that Apocalypse Now. Yeah.
Do you like Dunkirk more than 1917? Because I know you talk a lot about Dunkirk.
I go back and forth.
Because even 1917, I wasn't sipping the cool. Like I liked it definitely more than Dunkirk, and I really enjoyed it. Like Dunkirk, I would actually be like, oh, I'm literally not a fan. But like Dunkirk, 1917, I did like, but I was still a little bit like, what are people seeing with this movie that like I'm not? I really really enjoyed it, but I think it was hyped too. People were saying it was like one of the best movies, like war movies ever, and I was just like, it was good, really good, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I probably would right now. I'd probably say it's my favorite war film of all time, 1917. There was something. It was
really entertaining, really really entertaining. I love the score too. There's nothing I can pinpoint that I'm like, oh my god. I would even say like Hacksaw Ridge more than 1917 and Dunkirk.
Yeah,
I'd probably put it behind Saving Private Ryan. I think Hacksaw Ridge was just so freaking gnarly with those scenes and stuff.
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge is good. Here, I love Saving Private Ryan. Here's the thing about that movie. All everyone ever talks about is the first 15, 20 minutes of that film when they're on the beaches of Normandy. That right there is that's peak war film. I don't think you've ever seen anything better than some of that stuff. The rest of the film, while really good, doesn't quite hit the highs of those first 20 minutes. The ending is obviously really good as well, and there's some bits sprinkled in there, like when Giovanni Ribisi is dying. That's really really brutal and hard to watch. Obviously the Vin Diesel one just pisses me off. That's so dumb. He's an idiot, and he probably should have deserved to die in that. But
that's how I feel about the Uncle Ben death in the first Amazing Spider-Man. I was like, you deserve to die. You were in zero danger, bro. The gun was on there. He was not going to kill you, and you just run out. No!
Actually, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
That's how I feel about that. People
but
die in movies.
Yeah, I don't know. There are parts of, I don't know. I think Saving Private Ryan is obviously up there, but I don't know. The first bit of that film is the best. Tyler, how do you feel about SPR?
It's real. I really like it, man. Yeah, the first, the best part is the opening, but I do love the rest of the movie, especially the ending when they finally get with Matt Damon. It's like, oh, they finally found him, and we get to have this cool last battle. But
the last battle is good too.
Movie, but it's up there, probably top 10 for sure.
Yeah. That's a movie that I'd kill to see in the theater for the first time. I feel like it had to have been just one of those once in a lifetime, just mind blowing experiences.
I know. I did get to see it in the movie theater when they re-released it, I think 2 years ago. But it would have been so cool to see opening night. Not knowing anything about it. Just whoa.
Yeah, that's one. I think we had a question a couple weeks ago where it's what's a film that you wish you could see for the first time in theaters? Erase it from your memory and then see for the first time in theaters. And I'm like, honestly, that might be one of them. I bet that was
Titanic would have been fun too, man. When that opened,
that's true.
With all the hype, probably like, whoa, this is something special.
Yeah, and I'm not crazy about it, but I feel like that's just one of the ones where it's just if you saw it at the time, it just
because even Avatar. I remember Avatar. I don't love it, but it's it's a really good movie. But that was a lot of fun. Just the hype, dude. Everyone was so hyped to see that movie.
Avatar is one of the nuttiest, just things ever. It just hit so much money. Right time. Because everyone was like, oh, the technical achievements. It's oh my god. And I mean
3D was great. I mean 3D was spectacular.
For a movie that came out in 2009, the fact that it looks like it probably could have come out last year is is very impressive. It still holds up, but it's I don't know. It's bloated and it's just dances with wolves, and I'm just man.
I love Dances with Wolves, bro. I freaking love Dances with Wolves.
It's good. It's a good movie, but it's would you rather watch Avatar or Dances with Wolves?
Dances with Wolves, 100%. Yeah,
exactly. That's Avatar. It's the same.
I think
movie.
Pocahontas is better than Avatar. If we're talking about indigenous.
Well, I mean, it's the same story. It's. I don't know. It's Avatar is interesting, and I'm really upset that we've lost James Cameron to Pandora. It's
Pandora. He's gone.
It's not there. Okay. We could have had. I was literally just talking about this with Sean Chandler. If you were born, after the year of God, I don't even remember. I forget. He gave some period of time, but it was basically 20 some years. You'll have only had James Cameron will have only made one movie, maybe two. When did The Abyss come out?
Well, I mean, Titanic was the last one he made. That came out in 97.
Yeah. So if you were born in 2000 or
98.
Yeah, something like that. I think that James Cameron has legitimately only made one movie. That's.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Depressing.
And it's funny. It's not even his most, not even close. I mean, we all want him to direct a new Terminator movie. They keep on directing ones, and they're just getting worse and worse and
Dude,
worse. I don't even
want to see that. Please, just please.
But no, I'm not even saying I don't even want him to. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna pick a franchise to go to, it shouldn't have been Avatar. Is what I'm saying. It's the wrong one to dedicate his entire life to. You know what I mean? I don't want him to dedicate his life to anyone, but the fact that he chose, Avatar out of all of them is bizarre.
I mean, it's like if Christopher Nolan lost himself to just like Inception and that world, or like Interstellar or something. Or
well,
Batman.
Tenet's a sequel to Inception. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, very, very well known and documented. No, it's just like what? Like James Cameron, you are like one of the innovators of Hollywood, and you are just
he just fell off my favorite directors list because of it. Because he's not in my mind anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I know
there's people making movies now, or
stupid.
So.
Yeah, no, it's very irritating.
He did direct an Aquaman movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen the show Entourage, but he directed Aquaman.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
With Vincent Chase.
Yeah. Ian Ferry with a good question. What are your thoughts on the colorization of black and white films? I'm personally all for it, just as long as the original unaltered version is still made available. I'm in the exact same boat as you are. I think a great example of this is like It's a Wonderful Life. You have the option on the Blu-ray, on the physical media, to watch it in either color or black and white. And I actually do alternate between them, because I think sometimes the colorization, it helps you view the film in a different light. There's something just like really just magical about seeing a film in black and white and kind of like letting things, it's like the whole movie isn't up to your imagination, but like the way things look is sort of left up to your imagination. And there's something just very I don't know, it's beautiful about that. And then when you have it colorized for you, it's like, oh, that's sort of what it looks like.
Logan, you can see it in black and white. I watched that in black and white. That was a cool experience. There's one movie too. Some of them flip back and forth too. There's a movie I love that no one really talks about. Steve Buscemi's in it. Living in Oblivion, I believe it's what it's called. It's actually about like he's an indie filmmaker and everything goes wrong while he's on set. Oh, yeah. And it's in black and white and in color, and it's great. Kind of says both of those. Yeah.
I like having the option for sure. I much prefer color over black and white, but like there are a few movies if I'm given the option, but like I think the only one that I would actually be interested in, I'd like to see the black and white version of Parasite. I think that'd be kind of cool because I think there is a version of that in black and white. But for the most part, I prefer color.
Well, the colors in Parasite, like just like I just wouldn't want to see it in black and white personally, because I just think the colors of that movie and the cinematography was so great,
Well, that was the thing about the black and white version of Mad Max, because the colors are so vibrant and everything in that. But I've heard it's like a very different viewing experience. So I don't know. That'd be interesting to see. But in terms of like colorizing like black and white films, as long as the transfer is good and the black and white version is still available, then I think it's.
What about The Lighthouse? If they had, I know you love that movie. If they colorize The Lighthouse, it kind of defeats the purpose.
That'd be weird. Yeah, that would be weird.
It kind of defeats the whole purpose, and they overlit that movie to death too, because that was kind of like part of the charm, I guess. I'm actually not a big fan of that movie, but I like the cinematography and the actual like production of that movie was like breathtaking. I think black and white like adds a whole lot to the movie.
That's actually one of the only ones I can think of where it's like I can only watch it in black and white.
Yeah. I can't.
It's like a character in its own right. It's literally just a characterization of the film. It's like essential.
Yeah, for sure. A couple more questions here, guys, and then we'll start to close out. Zach Marsh, Mark Kermode is my favorite film critic who isn't dead. Yeah, I really, really, really like Mark Kermode as well. He's got a great way of critiquing and just like, kind of like talking about movies. I've always enjoyed him. And actually, I think when he does interviews too on the radio, it's they're really, really solid. This is a fun one. The Geeky Gator. Chances that Bad Boys for Life is still the highest grossing film by the end of 2020. Tyler.
No way. I think Tenet's going to pass it. I think it's going to kill overseas. I think it's going to kill. I think it's going to do not kill, but I think it's going to do really good in the U.S. too. I think it's going to be extremely hard to get into a screening of it for the first few weeks that it's out, because it's going to be limited capacity, and people are going to go. So,
yeah, Colin.
I think Tenet will pass it. It'll do really good overseas. It's crazy to think though that we're halfway through the year and a movie from January is the top of the box office.
Bad Boys, man. Insane. Bad Boys.
And Bad Boys movie too. It's
yeah. That's the fact that movie is even good, I think, is the bigger surprise. Like everyone was like, "Oh, it's not going to be good," and then it's like, "Well, wow, it's."
Well, trailers really worked for me. I kind of had a little bit of hope, actually.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel, but it's probably the best Bad Boys movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, let's see. Let's take one final question from Dennis S. Favorite musician working today? Tyler.
Ooh, oh man. So many to choose from. I'll just say I still really like Travis Scott. I get really excited for what. It's such a weird thing to say, but I'll just say him. I have a lot, but he's the first one that comes to mind. And we talked about Justin Timberlake last night.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
him
yeah.
too. Anything,
Dude, same.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I love so many people.
Yeah, he's wicked talented. I love The Weeknd too. He's just another one.
Album of the year.
Honestly, it's still the best thing to come out this year, like from a music standpoint. Yeah,
great album cover too.
Yeah, that is a great album cover. Colin.
I'm not like super. I wish my brother was here to answer this question for me. He's like super into music the same way I'm into movies. But like, I listen to a lot of older stuff, so it's hard for me to even like. I don't like. I'll listen to songs that are new and I'm like, I like it, but I don't like care to ask like who sang it. So I'm like, I like that song, but I don't know who.
Yeah.
So I'm like an old grandpa when it comes to like rap music today. I mean, I like the '90s and like NWA and stuff. Love '90s rap, but I mean today my favorite band today is a band called Caged Elephant.
Caged.
They're probably like my favorite band, like a modern band. I used to listen to them all the time. I haven't listened to them much this year. Listen to more like older stuff. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, again, echoing what Tyler said, JT, The Weeknd, the 1975, I think are probably my favorite band of all time.
1975, I like a lot as well.
They're
really good.
I would, Tyler, I would also throw in Travis Scott as well. There is something just like literally every time that dude drops something, I am
it's
like
special, man.
For me, like ASAP Rocky, I really enjoyed too, as far as modern Kendrick Lamar. And then when Mac Miller was alive, I love him so much. I mean, his last album was something unbelievable, and even after his death, I don't think enough people talked about how like revolutionary that album really should have been. Like what he did there. The blending of genres was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't know, Tyler, you like Suicide Boys?
Yeah, I was kind of into them for a little bit. Kind of fell off the train. I like Daft Punk a lot.
Of course.
I like Big Time Rush. I mean, come on now.
The best.
Some boy bands,
Some Naked Brothers band in there.
Yeah, Naked Brothers band. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Sorry, we got a few. Gabe Tricks, I'm a few years older than you guys, but did you enjoy Batman the Animated Series? Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching that stuff. I grew up watching BTAS and Batman Beyond. So they're two of the greatest cartoons ever.
Never really watched it, but I like the Spider-Man, the animated Spider-Man series.
Oh, dude, the 90s Spider-Man series is so good. Colin, did you have anything to add?
I watched it kind of sporadically. Same thing with the Spider-Man. I probably watched X-Men cartoons the most. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big show guy. Probably my favorite like animated show of all time is the Clone Wars, and I haven't even finished it. So
Clone Wars is really, really good. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Shift YSL, good to see you in here, buddy. Favorite composer working today. Shout out to Daniel Lopatin. I love Lopatin. He's so good.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, it's very cliche to say this, but Hans Zimmer is literally the greatest composer ever, and I get excited every single time he's doing something. So I mean, as cliche as it is, like Zimmer is right up there. But Tyler,
Thomas Newman, then right after Danny Elfman, like those two are neck and neck. But I love Newman.
You guys will kind of listen to all the guys. Danny Elfman, I don't know if I have a more favorite score than Danny Elfman's Spider-Man theme. It's like just one song, not like a continue. Like my favorite Empire Strikes Back is my favorite score of all time, or The Social Network.
Trent Reznor.
Yeah, he did. As far as like non like kind of blockbuster filmmaking, the score for The Social Network is unbelievable. But yeah, I mean Danny Elfman and then Alan Silvestri. I think Back to the Future and Avengers Endgame was incredible too. I think he's such a great composer.
Yeah, for sure. And then the true last question here, the Geeky Gator, not even a question, but after hearing your praise for Waves from last year, I just watched it for the first time yesterday, and it was fantastic. Surprised not enough people talked about it last year. Dude, you are preaching to the choir. That movie should have been up for so many Oscars. And
Twitty brings that up. I've been wanting to watch it again lately.
Oh God!
I still have yet to see it. I know you're praising it. I'm a big A24 fan, and I really enjoyed a lot of the films that they came out with last year. Uncut Gems was like one of my favorites, and But like one thing I heard about Waves, I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this. A lot of people said it felt like it ended in the middle of the movie, and it dragged on. What's your response to that?
I don't think it dragged on, but it is very clearly a movie of two halves. It's a movie about like destruction and then reconstruction. It's like very purposefully structured like that. So
it's interesting. Like there's a couple A24 movies that do the similar. Like the movie Room is like two movies. It's like one of them in the room, the one without. Moonlight. A lot of it's like this person's phase of their life, and then the second half's kind of tonally the same, but kind of a different movie as well.
Maybe that's
for sure. I don't know.
For sure. Yep. Well, guys, I think that is going to do it for today's live stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in and asking great questions. It was a lot of fun. Sorry for the technical mishap at the beginning. I'll try and edit that out for those of you watching on the replay. And then thank you to my two guests for joining me, Tyler, Colin. I know it was a little last minute, but I'm glad we could have you on here. Colin, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can search my name, Colin Williams. I just passed 900 subscribers, so I'm really close to 1,000. So if we can get there, that'd be awesome. Get there really soon. So Colin Williams, MR on Twitter, Colin Williams Reviews on Instagram. And then I'm super, super active on Letterboxd. I know you two are. You are too, Griffin. C. Williams 991 on there. Thanks so much for having me, man. It was random, but I'm glad I did it. I had nothing to do today, so.
Yeah, for sure. No, I always love having people on, even if it's last minute, but it's always good to have people on and just, shoot the shit for like an hour and a half or so. Tyler, thank you for joining me as well. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, a lot of fun, man. Thanks for having me. Twitter at Letterboxd by searching my name, Tyler Tompkins. Find me on those. Very active on Letterboxd as well. A lot of everything I watch, and just find me over there.
Perfect. And definitely, guys, go give them a follow. Film Forum will be back on Tuesday at 10 a.m. PT. We'll be taking your live questions there and also talking about the latest topics in the world of movie news. And then we'll probably have another Film Forum on either next Thursday or Friday. I haven't really decided yet, but keep an eye out for that as well. You can like this video, obviously, share with your friends. That'd be great if you feel so inclined. And then also subscribe to the FilmSpeak channel, where we say that the conversation continues after the credits. And if you want to be a part of that conversation, you're definitely in the right place. You can like FilmSpeak on Facebook, follow us on Twitter simply by searching FilmSpeak. And lastly, if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right, guys, I will catch you back here on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time for Film Forum. Until then, take care.